Now, I've used the ECOVACS T90 Pro Omni for about 5 months now.
I've used it day after day, running it in my house, watching how it handles real messes, seeing what features I actually use, and more importantly, figuring out which features still matter after the excitement of a new gadget wears off. Because let's be honest, most robot vacuums sound amazing during the first week. The real question is,
How do they feel after a few months? Well, after spending time about 5 months
with the ECOVACS T90 Pro Omni, there are 5 things that really stood out to me. And the last one honestly shocked me the most. It's not the roller mop, it's not the suction, it's not even the edge cleaning, but it completely changed how I use this robot. So stick around until the end because that's the feature I appreciate the most now. Now, the very first thing I noticed wasn't a feature, it was actually a feeling. My floors felt cleaner, not just right after the cleaning cycle, but throughout the week, especially in the kitchen, especially around the dining table, and especially in those areas where everyone constantly walks through. Normally with robot mops, I notice the floor looking clean immediately after cleaning. But then the next day, it doesn't really feel that different, right? But with the T90 Pro Omni, I kept noticing the floors stayed cleaner longer. And eventually, I figured out why. It's because of the OZMO Roller 3.0 system. Instead of dragging 2 wet pads across the floor, this robot uses a high-density microfiber roller. Now, the roller holds water exceptionally well and it constantly refreshes while cleaning. Fresh water is sprayed into the roller through ECOVACS Fresh Flow power washing system using 32 different spray outlets. Now, at the same time, the roller can self-wash up to 200 RPM while cleaning. And the dirty water is continuously scraped away and extracted. So instead of cleaning your whole house with the same dirty mop pad, the roller is constantly refreshing itself. Now, the way I think about it is pretty simple actually. Where the fresh water goes on, the roller scrubs, the dirty water gets removed, and then the process repeats over and over. I think that's the biggest reason my floors constantly felt cleaner. Now, what always happens here in this house is that I spill some coffee, some ketchup or sauce, which becomes sticky spots and dried residue. And what surprised me wasn't that the T90 Pro Omni could clean them. Most premium robot mops eventually can, right? But what surprised me was how often it cleaned them in one single pass. The roller itself is about 27 centimeters long. The larger roller means more floor contact, more scrubbing area, and better coverage every time it moves across the floor. On top of that, ECOVACS says that the roller applies about 10 newtons of downward scrubbing force. Now, I don't walk around trying to measure that, okay? But what I can tell you is that dried coffee stains and sticky messes came off much easier than expected. There were multiple times where I fully expected to send the robot back for a second cleaning pass. And honestly, I didn't need to. That was one of the biggest surprises.
One thing I ended up using more than I expected over the last 5 months was the mop-only mode. Sometimes I didn't need a full vacuum and mop cycle. Sometimes just a little spill here and there. In those situations, I could jump into the app, select mop-only cleaning, draw a cleaning area, and have it focus on that mess.
Now, the next thing I noticed was how consistent the vacuuming performance has been. You know how some robot vacuums look great on paper? They give you this like huge suction numbers, lots of marketing around it, and then the real world pickup ends up feeling average. Now, the T90 Pro Omni has been the opposite. Part of that comes from the blast suction system. Instead of forcing air through complicated airflow paths, ECOVACS uses a straight-through airflow design. This means less restriction, better airflow efficiency. That system is paired with a high-efficiency motor and a high-discharge battery, and the result is simple. Strong pickup. Whether it's rice, dust, pet hair, crumbs, or even that debris hiding in the carpet, it just gets picked up. And honestly, I care much more on the actual pickup performance than whatever giant suction number is printed on the box. Now let's talk about edge cleaning. Because when robot companies talk about edge cleaning, I usually don't get excited. It's one of those features that are pretty boring. That wasn't the case here though. The T90 Pro Omni uses the TruEdge system, which allows the roller to extend outward by about 1.5 centimeters. Now that might not sound like a lot, okay? But after living with it for weeks, I absolutely noticed the difference. I don't even see any dust line anymore on my baseboards, on the side of my walls. I don't see any of that anymore, which is great. Now, your friends are probably not gonna care about it, but I care. I want to see every centimeter of my house clean. And honestly, that's something I've come to appreciate more over time.
Another popular question was, has anyone had the T90 Pro Omni get stuck between chair legs or tight spaces? Now, this next one is actually a fair question because honestly, this isn't unique to ECOVACS. Pretty much every robot vacuum can occasionally run into challenging layouts. During my 5 months of testing, I found that in every tight areas, like in dining chairs or narrow furniture gaps, the robot may sometimes spend a little extra time repositioning itself before continuing. If it happens repeatedly, ECOVACS recommends checking that the collision protection strip has been removed, gently pressing the left, center, right sides of the bumper to confirm normal rebound, and restarting the robot to see if the issue persists. Personally, I haven't experienced any major navigation issues during my long-term test, but I thought it was worth mentioning because it's one of the more common questions people ask.
Now, if you've owned robot vacuums before, you probably know this feeling. You flip over the robot, and then somehow there's like enough hair wrapped around the brush to make a small wig, which is pretty disgusting, right? Especially if you have pets, kids, or maybe you have long hair yourself. That's normally one of the most annoying maintenance tasks. I think so anyway. But ECOVACS ZeroTangle 4.0 system has genuinely helped here. The main brush uses an airflow-directed anti-tangle design that guides hair into the suction path. The side brushes use AR Clean dual cluster technology to pull debris inward while reducing tangles. But you know what I think? I've spent way less time pulling hair out of my brush, and that is a huge win. I don't really want to touch that. It's pretty gross, right? Now let's talk about the thing that surprised me more than anything else. It's not the roller, it's not the suction, it's not even the edge cleaning. It's the dock. I know. You might be saying, hey, that's pretty boring, right? But hear me out here, okay? Just hear me out.
After a few months, I've realized something.
I stopped thinking about the robot, and that's probably the biggest compliment I can give it. I don't think about washing mop pads anymore. I don't think about emptying dustbins. I don't think about whether the battery is charged. I don't think about whether it's ready to clean. It just works. I love how the robot just finishes cleaning, returns to the OMNI Station, it washes the roller, scrapes away dirt, empties the dustbin, and dries the roller with hot air. And the best part about it is it gets itself ready for the next cleaning cycle. There's even the PowerBoost charging if you have a big house, which means that while the robot is washing the roller, it's also charging. It's using a GaN-based charging technology and an EV level pouch battery. It can recover up to 10% battery in roughly 3 minutes during a wash cycle, which means less waiting, less downtime, and more cleaning.
Another thing I noticed after a few months of ownership is that some people wonder if the cleaning solution is actually being dispensed because the level can be difficult to notice day to day. If you ever run into that, ECOVACS recommends making sure you're using their cleaning solution. Checking that the cleaning solution add function is enabled in the app, updating the robot to the latest firmware as well, and monitoring the solution level over a few weeks of cleaning cycles. Personally, I haven't had any issues, but I figured it was worth mentioning since it's one of the most common questions people ask.
But honestly, that's not even the best part. The best part is that I barely interact with it anymore. My maintenance routine now is very simple. I basically just refill clean water, empty dirty water, replace the dust bag when needed, and that's basically it. Super simple. And the other feature is that you can schedule it, so you basically don't even think about it at all. It just feels effortless.
So after living with the ECOVACS T90 Pro Omni for a few months,
what stands out isn't just one feature. It's how everything works together. The 27cm OZMO Roller 3.0 keeps the floor feeling genuinely clean. The blast suction system delivers strong everyday pickup. The TruEdge extension helps clean closer to walls and baseboards. And the ZeroTangle 4.0 system reduces maintenance. And the best part is the OMNI Station, which takes care most of the work behind the scenes. But if I had to pick the one thing that surprised me the most, it's how little I think about floor cleaning now. Because the best smart home products aren't the ones you constantly notice. They're the ones that quietly do their job so well that you forget they're even there. And honestly, that's exactly what happened with the ECOVACS T90 Pro Omni. Now, if you've got any questions at all, you can ask me in the comments below and I'll see you guys over there. If you want to see more comparison against some of the other robot vacuums I've tested in this channel before, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button if I was able to help you. Thanks for watching and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace!